political agitation. And when you take suicide ideation, which is 90% of the mass shooters that we've seen over the last decade, what happens, Trace, when that SWAT team got to them in Uvalde? What happens when that, excuse me, they didn't move at all in Uvalde, but that's a different conversation. What happened at Buffalo? What happened at Allen? What happened in Minnesota just last week? There's always suicide ideation. The shooter ends up taking his own life. And if he does have a pistol on him still, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up getting killed by the time the SWAT team moves in. Or he's looking for that martyrdom. This is a radicalized, narcissist, militant group of liberals who are getting radicalized by the day. So we've got to put this genie back in the bottle ASAP. But I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up killing himself if FBI HRT moves in. And the reason why is because that suicide ideation is in that system. There's mental health connected here. The doctor could talk to that. And then once you mold that with that political grievance, you've got yourself a homicidal pathway. You've got to get to these kids before they end up moving down that pathway to that shot. You've got to get left of them.
Yeah. Now let's talk about going back to Charlie Kirk and legacy that he has left behind and really, you know, how influential he has been in politics.
No, seriously, this is a trip.
It's a very...
I'm starting to think I'm right more and more. Let's back up a little... Oh, shit. Hey, seriously, hold on.
Talking about this, speculating that maybe the gun was in his pants and he was kind of getting to
her
the
pants.
And what do you think about you look closer at this video, Aaron? What's your take on it?
There's more to it than that. There's something...
This is by way of deception.
Right.
Assault rifle, which I believe was a 30-06, which they recovered on the side of the bushes off the side where the attack was carried out.
Hold on.
It looks like it's down the right leg pants. It's a very easy way to be able to conceal the weapon, to get it to the point of attack, which is up on top of that building. He's walking with that limp. Clearly,
I think it's a she. I'm not being
there's something
funny
in his pants, and
look,
if this
you ever
is in
seen
fact a
female
suspect, that would
volleyball
make sense.
players,
It's an easy way to conceal it. It's not a gigantic long gun, Trace, by the way, and there was no suppressor on it, which adds another 12 inches to the end of the barrel. It was a very loud shot, and I think this is him being able to get to the area of operation, which is what they would call it. But Trace, I want to say this. This was no professional. This wasn't an assassin. This guy
had on Chuck Taylors, and I did hear him
little
say
security in this
that she, I think, had on some Converse, but they're the old Chuck Taylor style.
A guerrilla movement that has gone from fringe to now taking out a political national treasure on the top of a roof that had very little security, and this is metastasizing. And the thousands of videos that I have been seeing online praising this loser tells me everything I need to know. You don't need a lot of training to take that shot, Trace. All you need is a little bit of range time. You send the round down range, and you've got yourself a dead target. And this kid right here is about 72 hours from being wrapped up. FBI HRT is all over this. This kid's going to get arrested, and you will find that digital footprint. I promise you it's going to be extensive.
Yeah, we have another person who's also very good with weapons, Joshua Sherrard here. And Joshua, I'm wondering if you agree with Aaron Cohen here, because this was, I mean, it's...
Also, look.
He's in custody.
But very quickly, Joshua, when you talk about no gloves, the fact they have a palm print and so on and so forth, you've got to be in the system, right? So before you can use those prints, this person who appears to be young and in college would have to be in the system for these things to come up. Is that fair?
It's a fair point in order to identify based off of prints, but what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to identify based off a lot of other factors, mostly what Governor Cox was saying, the involvement of the community in tips. And then we can use those prints, palm prints, fingerprints, to then confirm that identity and the fact that he was at that scene.
And look, it acts like
I want to listen to this. This is Bernard Zapor. He's a former ATF special agent in charge. It's called 401, Kevin. I thought it was...